What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing? Of course, we got semi-technical difficulties, but not fully. As far as where I'm live streaming to right now at this point, it's showing that I am not streaming on my two Facebook pages, but that's all right. I'll put the rebroadcast on those pages. It's all good. It's all good. I think I might have done something that particular time. So yeah, what's up, man? What's good? What's good? Yeah, man. Whew. I was having a little difficulties there. Hold on, let me get myself situated a little bit. Let me get a little bit seated back. Hold on. Okay. So yeah, man, we live in spite of things that go down. Be sure to support New Black Media or New Black American Media. All right. And so yeah, man, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get into the chatbot. This is something I've been looking into for a while, or been knowing about it for a while, and always been saying, man, let me find out what's going on. Let me ask some questions with some people about the chatbot. And so what I originally was going to do was go back to one of my previous chatbot conversations and kind of just go through it with y'all. But what I'm going to do is just do this in real time instead and have a conversation with the chatbot. All right. And I'll just kind of walk through what I was doing previously and just do it in real time, man. All right. So, yeah, we just going to get right into it. You rocking with the best Thoughts of the Week podcast. Let's get it. You're rocking with the best Thoughts of the Week podcast. All right, man. So yeah, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. So maybe a few months back, several months back, I was talking to somebody. I asked them about. We were just kind of talking about chat bots and chat AI stuff like that, and in regards to how it works. And this was a young lady who was saying, "Oh, it just kind of rehashes information that's already out there." And she said she didn't like it. She wouldn't use it. She wouldn't. She was fussing about it a little bit. It was like, no, 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 no. I wouldn't use that. I'm not gonna use that. Mm-mm. So I was still curious, and so I end up getting. Now I have 3 different chatbot apps. But the one I'm going to use is one that if you guys are interested in it, it's actually free, and you can go to openai.com if I'm not mistaken. Openai.com. So let me pull this up real quick. All right. So this is what it looks like. I think you got to sign in. Maybe you can get an email address. And what you actually can do is once you create your account, a free account, then you can actually get the same app, Chat GPT, I think it is 3.5, something like that. Matter of fact, let me go see what it is real quick. Let me look on my other screen here. Yeah, it's called Chat GPT. So you would just look for the Chat GPT app, and what you can do is download that app so you can use it from the laptop or tablet or your phone, and you can kind of go back and forth. Whatever you do on the laptop, you'll see the same information on the app. So for those that are interested, go look at it. Get on, you're on your laptop, go to openai.com. Let me make sure here. Or chatgpt.com. But I think it's also OpenAI, so it has like two different addresses. All right. And make it do what it do, man. Use it for something, experiment. And so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and experiment with this as well. And we're gonna do this in real time. So we're gonna have a conversation, a quick conversation. I'm not gonna be in here too long. And originally, what I did, I had a conversation with the app, right? I had a conversation with the app, and what I wanted, I was trying to, I guess I call myself trying to be sneaky and slick. And what I was doing was I wanted to ask the chatbot questions about itself, the chat GPT questions about itself, right? So that's what I'm going to do in real time, real quick here, okay? Because I wanted to find out some things. So let me hit this up full screen. All right. And let me move this out the way as well while we at it. And so, yeah. So I'm going to kind of try to replicate what I was doing the last time. Just do it. We'll do it in real time. And I think the audio is on. I hope it is. Let me get out of this real quick and make sure the audio is on while I'm sharing this thing here. All right. So let me make sure here. Okay. The audio is on. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and hit that. And then we in there. All right. So yeah, because I'm going to put it on so we can kind of speak the answers and we'll kind of go from there. So like I said, what I was doing is I was experimenting and I wanted to see how I can use this thing, how I can make this thing work to my benefit. Because me personally, I'm into different technologies, available technology. And like I said, I always heard about this. And so I wanted to see, play around with it. I'm hearing different things, but I said, let me try it out myself. So I got 3 apps total, different chatbot apps on my tablet, and I kind of switch from back and forth. I'll ask one a question, then I might later on ask another one, the other chatbot app, the same question, and see if they give me the same answers. But this is free. Go to chatgpt.com or openai.com, I believe, and I started asking it some questions. So basically, I was asking how does it work. So I'm gonna go ahead and type that in, and let's just see what answers it gives. All right. Oh, it failed to play. That's interesting. I wonder why. But I'll just go ahead and read the answer here. Let me put this on the full screen real quick. And so basically it says, I operate by processing and generating text based on the input I receive. All right. Based on the input I receive. My architecture involves using deep learning techniques to understand and respond to natural language. When you ask me a question or provide a prompt, I analyze that input, identify relevant patterns and information, and generate a response accordingly. My responses are based on the vast amount of text data I've been trained on. So when I seen that, I seen the train on, that kind of sparked some more questions for me. So I'm gonna read on, continue on. My responses are based on the vast amount of text data I've been trained on, encompassing a wide range of topics and writing styles. If there's anything specific you'd like to know about how I work, or if you have any other questions, feel free to ask. All right. So, like I said, when they said that trained on, that's what sparked me to have some more questions the last time. So, I'm going to ask it who actually trained you. All right. Let's see if it'll play the audio.
I'm trained by a team of researchers and engineers at OpenAI. They design and oversee the training process, which involves feeding me vast amounts of text data and fine tuning various parameters to optimize my performance. Additionally, they continuously monitor my behavior and make adjustments to improve my abilities and ensure that I operate safely and ethically.
All right. Y'all just bear with me for a second here. All right. So, yeah, I just want to make sure this is playing. So, that's good. So, and that's basically what I was doing. I was having a conversation trying to get as deep and detailed with the chat GPT, this AI, and find out, its inner workings. All right. So I'm gonna play that again so you guys can hear it.
I'm trained by a team of researchers and engineers at OpenAI. They design and oversee the training process, which involves feeding me vast amounts of text data and fine tuning various parameters to optimize my performance. Additionally, they continuously monitor my behavior and make adjustments to improve my abilities and ensure that I operate safely and ethically.
And so after listening to that, additionally, they continuously monitor my behavior. So I'm gonna ask them, well, who's they? Who's the people? Who are the people that monitor your behavior? And I'm doing this because so you guys can also know how this stuff works and you get an idea in case you get interested in wanting to check it out.
The team responsible for monitoring my behavior typically consists of researchers, engineers, and other experts at OpenAI. They employ a combination of automated systems and human oversight to track how I interact with users and ensure that I adhere to certain guidelines and ethical standards. This monitoring helps identify any potential issues or biases in my responses and allows for adjustments to be made to improve my performance and reliability.
Okay. And I'm just going to continue on just a little bit more detailed and find out, who is OpenAI. And it also mentioned the team responsible. Now, this they refer, or this chat GPT is referring it as a team, not an not a one person or individual. It's a team responsible for monitoring my behavior typically consists of researchers, engineers, and other experts at OpenAI. They employ a combination of automated systems and human oversight. So I'm gonna ask them, tell me a little bit more about the human oversight.
Human oversight involves individuals who review and analyze my interactions with users to ensure that I'm operating safely, ethically, and in accordance with predefined guidelines. These individuals may include researchers, engineers, or moderators who have expertise in natural language processing, ethics, and other relevant fields. Their responsibilities might include 1. Monitoring for safety. They keep an eye on conversations to ensure that I'm not providing harmful or inappropriate content. 2. Quality assurance. They assess the accuracy and relevance of my responses to ensure that they meet a certain standard of quality. 3. Ethical considerations. They evaluate whether my responses align with ethical guidelines and principles, such as fairness, respect, and transparency. 4. Bias detection and mitigation. They look out for any biases in my responses and take steps to address them, such as adjusting training data or fine tuning algorithms. 5. User feedback. They may also take into account feedback from users to identify areas where I could improve or where there may be misunderstandings or inaccuracies. Overall, human oversight plays a crucial role in ensuring that I function effectively and responsibly in my interactions with users.
So that's something that sparked my my to got my attention. They keep an eye on conversations to ensure that I'm not providing harmful or inappropriate content. So I'm gonna ask something else here in regards to number one, where they say monitoring for safety. Let me see. So what do they consider to be harmful and inappropriate? And she said content, right? Inappropriate content. All right, and I'm gonna play the audio once she gets done here. Texting responses there. All right, here we go.
Harmful and inappropriate content can encompass a wide range of material that may be deemed unsuitable or potentially damaging in various contexts. While the specific criteria can vary depending on the platform, community standards, and ethical guidelines, some common examples include 1. Explicit or graphic content. Material containing explicit language, violence, or adult themes that may not be suitable for all audiences. 2. Hate speech and discrimination. Content that promotes or incites hatred, discrimination, or violence against individuals or groups based on attributes such as race, ethnicity, religion, gender, sexual orientation, disability, etc. 3. Misinformation and disinformation. False or misleading information that could harm individuals or undermine trust in credible sources of information. 4. Harmful advice. Advice or instructions that could pose a risk to someone's physical or mental well being, such as promoting dangerous behaviors, self harm, or illegal activities. 5. Bullying and harassment. Content intended to intimidate, harass, or bully individuals or groups, including threats, insults, or personal attacks. 6. Sensitive topics. Discussions or depictions of sensitive topics such as suicide, self harm, trauma, or other potentially triggering subjects should be handled with care and sensitivity. Platforms and organizations typically have policies and guidelines in place to define what constitutes harmful and inappropriate content, and they rely on human moderators and automated systems to enforce these standards.
Oh,
Additionally, cultural norms, legal requirements, and community feedback may also influence how harmful and inappropriate content is identified and addressed.
all right. So yeah, there you go. Let me see. Let me ask some other questions here. Oh, I wanted to ask. Let me find out this. I'm asking, how do you get smarter? And then I'll play the audio response once it's done texting its response. And again, like I said, this is just something for those who don't know too much about it and you want to learn more about it. This is how I started off when I went on and when I got it on the app. I wanted to ask some questions and just find out what it's going to actually see what's going to actually how deep it will actually tell me information. So here's a response to my question on how do you get smarter. So here's their Chat GPT's response.
I get smarter through a process called training, which involves continuously learning from vast amounts of text data. Here's how it generally works. 1. Data collection. My training data consists of a diverse range of text sources, including books, articles, websites, and other written materials. This data provides me with exposure to a wide variety of topics, writing styles, and language patterns. 2. Training algorithms. Researchers and engineers at OpenAI use sophisticated algorithms and techniques, such as deep learning, to process and analyze this data. These algorithms help me identify patterns, relationships, and structures within the text. 3. Adjusting parameters. During the training process, various parameters and settings are adjusted to optimize my performance. This includes factors like the architecture of the neural network, the size of the model, and the training duration. 4. Feedback loop. As I generate responses, human evaluators provide feedback on the quality and accuracy of my output. This feedback helps identify areas where I may need improvement or where biases need to be addressed. 5. Iterative improvement. Based on this feedback, researchers fine-tune the training process and make adjustments to improve my performance. This iterative cycle of training, evaluation, and refinement continues over time, allowing me to gradually improve and become more capable. Overall, my intelligence is a reflection of the vast amount of text data I've been trained on, the quality of the algorithms used to process this data, and the ongoing efforts to refine and optimize my performance.
All right, so there you go. Now I'm just asking another question. What when you say sophisticated algorithms, go a little deeper and break that down to what that is. All right, so let's see what it says.
Certainly. When I refer to sophisticated algorithms in the context of training language models like me, I'm mainly talking about deep learning techniques. Here's a breakdown of some key concepts. 1. Neural networks. At the core of deep learning are artificial neural networks, which are computational models inspired by the structure and function of biological neural networks in the human brain. These networks consist of interconnected nodes, or neurons, organized into layers. In the context of language models, recurrent neural networks, RNNs, transformers, or variants like GPT, generative pre-trained transformer, are commonly used. Number 2, backpropagation. Deep learning models learn by adjusting their internal parameters, weights, and biases to minimize the difference between their predicted output and the actual output. Backpropagation is the mathematical technique used to calculate these parameter adjustments by propagating the error backwards through the network. 3. Gradient descent. This is an optimization algorithm used to update the parameters of the neural network during training. It involves iteratively adjusting the parameters in the direction that minimizes the error, as determined by the gradient of the loss function. 4. Attention mechanism. Attention mechanisms, particularly prevalent in transformer-based models like GPT, allow the model to focus on different parts of the input sequence when making predictions. This helps capture long-range dependencies and improve performance on tasks like language modeling and translation. 5. Pre-training and fine-tuning. Many language models are pre-trained on large data sets using unsupervised learning objectives, such as predicting the next word in a sequence. After pre-training, the models can be fine-tuned on specific tasks or domains with labeled data to further improve their performance. 6. Regularization techniques. To prevent overfitting, when the model learns to memorize the training data rather than generalize, regularization techniques like dropout, weight decay, and layer normalization are often employed during training. These are just a few examples of the algorithms and techniques used in training sophisticated language models like me. The field of deep learning is vast and continually evolving, with researchers developing new approaches to improve model performance and capabilities.
Now I'm gonna ask her to set some other questions, something that came to mind as she was talking. But right now I'm asking it, how did you get the name Chat GPT? All right, and so we'll see what the response is. All right, so here's her response.
My name, ChatGPT, is derived from the type of model I am and the purpose for which I was designed. 1. GPT, Generative Pre-trained Transformer. The GPT part of my name comes from the architecture I'm based on. GPT is a type of deep learning model that uses a transformer architecture, which is particularly effective for natural language processing tasks. The generative pre-trained aspect refers to the fact that I'm pre-trained on a large corpus of text data before being fine-tuned for specific tasks. 2. Chat. The chat part of my name signifies that I'm designed primarily for conversational interactions. While I can handle a wide range of tasks and topics, my primary function is to engage in natural language conversations with users, providing responses and assistance based on the input I receive. So, ChatGPT essentially describes me as a conversational AI model based on the GPT architecture. It's a concise and descriptive name that captures the essence of what I do.
Interesting. She went deep right before this question. She went pretty deep on the sophisticated algorithms and her going real deep on that. So here's another question I'm asking. Will you and artificial intelligence end up taking over the world of humans? Let's see what she says.
The idea of artificial intelligence, AI, taking over the world is a common theme in science fiction, but in reality, it's a much more nuanced and complex topic. Firstly, it's essential to recognize that AI, including myself, is created and controlled by humans. The development and deployment of AI systems are governed by human decisions, intentions, and ethical considerations. While AI can be powerful and capable of performing various tasks, it lacks consciousness, emotions, and intentions of its own. It operates based on algorithms and data without inherent desires or motivations. Furthermore, the impact of AI on society depends on how it's designed, deployed, and regulated. AI technologies have the potential to bring about significant benefits, such as improving efficiency, productivity, and quality of life. However, there are also potential risks and challenges, including job displacement, privacy concerns, bias in decision making, and the potential for misuse or unintended consequences. To mitigate these risks and ensure that AI technologies benefit society, it's crucial for stakeholders to engage in responsible development, deployment, and governance of AI. This includes considerations such as transparency, accountability, fairness, safety, and ethical use. Ultimately, the future relationship between humans and AI will be shaped by how we as a society choose to develop and integrate these technologies into our lives. It's not a matter of AI taking over the world, but rather how we harness its potential to address societal challenges and enhance human well being.
Okay. Hmm. Very detailed answer. Let me we're gonna have a little fun in a little bit. I'm just trying to get this so you guys can hear it, and then you can kind of it'll give you an I'm repeating this again, but so you can get an idea on what chat GPT is, how it operates, how it gets its information, um, things of that sort. So I'm asking those questions, and these were the same questions that I asked when I first got the app. But like I said, I wanted to do it in real time so you guys can hear it. Now that I see that you can play the audio back of the AI's responses to your questions. So, but there's another. I got one of these apps. One of the apps, like I said, I got three apps. Chat GPT. It has different names. Chat something, AI bot, Chat GPT, and Chat something. And one of them, one of the apps, you can actually speak what you want to ask, and then it'll respond back. So this one, I don't see a way to speak it, but I can see where you can play back their response. So that's as best I can do with this one. And again, if you guys are interested, like I said, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna ask a few more questions and just a couple here and there, and then we're gonna get out of here. I might show you a book or two, maybe, or I'll just pull up some books because I also have some Chat GPT books. Matter of fact, I might be able to pull it up. That are pretty good. That'll help you as far as operating the Chat GPT, getting more familiar with it, how to formulate your questions and things like that. All right, so here's another question I asked. Are you able to reason like humans? Because when the last response it gave kind of made me think about that. So, are you able to reason like humans, because it said that let me go back real quick because it mentioned it not having emotions. Okay, it says while AI can be powerful and capable of performing various tasks, it lacks consciousness. It lacks consciousness. So right now, this chat GPT AI is somebody else's consciousness. They're putting it in there, or a group of people. It lacks emotions and intentions of its own. So that kind of sparked me to ask this question about, are you able to reason like humans? So let's hear the answer.
While I can generate responses that may appear to involve reasoning, it's important to note that my capabilities differ from human reasoning in significant ways. 1. Pattern recognition. My responses are generated based on patterns and associations learned from vast amounts of text data during training. While this allows me to make informed responses to a wide range of prompts, it's not the same as the complex reasoning processes that humans engage in. 2. Lack of understanding. I lack genuine understanding or awareness of the concepts, contexts, or emotions involved in conversations. My responses are generated based on statistical patterns in the data rather than genuine comprehension. 3. Limited contextual understanding. While I can consider context within a conversation to some extent, my understanding is limited compared to human reasoning. I may struggle with understanding nuanced or ambiguous language, and my responses may lack the depth of insight that humans can provide. 4. Inability to learn from experience. Unlike humans, I don't have the ability to learn from experience or adapt my reasoning based on new information or feedback. My responses are based solely on the data I was trained on, and I don't have the capacity for genuine learning or growth. In summary, while I can generate responses that may involve a form of reasoning based on patterns learned from data, my capabilities are fundamentally different from human reasoning. I lack understanding, awareness, and the ability to learn and adapt in the same way that humans do.
Okay, that's very telling. You guys go back and play this part of it back. So the next question I asked to you, does data mean information? Because I keep noticing that she keeps saying she's trained on data. So I'm just curious of what the answer is going to be. Okay, she getting detailed answers here. All right. So here's her response to my question to you. Does data mean information?
In a broad sense, data can refer to any collection of information or facts that are represented in a structured or unstructured form. However, information typically implies data that has been processed, organized, and interpreted in a way that makes it meaningful or useful to humans or machines. Here's a breakdown. 1. Data. Data can be raw, unprocessed facts or observations. It can take various forms, including text, numbers, images, audio, or video. For example, a list of numbers, a collection of images, or a sequence of text are all examples of data. 2. Information. Information is data that has been processed, organized, and interpreted in a way that adds context, meaning, or relevance. It provides insight or knowledge that can be used to make decisions or understand a particular topic. For example, if we analyze the list of numbers and calculate their average, the result would be information that provides insight into the data. In the context of my training and operation, I primarily deal with text data, which consists of written language in various forms. While this text data is technically raw data, the training process involves processing and organizing it in a way that allows me to understand and generate meaningful responses. So while data forms the basis of my understanding, it's the processed and interpreted information extracted from this data that enables me to engage in conversations and provide assistance.
Hmm. Okay. So I have another question. So when you say you are trained on data, what do you actually mean? And I'm gonna ask one more question and then maybe get into something a little bit fun. Just so you guys can see what you can do with this and how it can possibly help you. All right. So again, so when you say you are trained on data, what do you actually mean? She be giving these detailed responses, breaking down one, two, three, four, five. So here's the response.
When I say that I'm trained on data, I mean that I've been exposed to vast amounts of text data during the training process. This text data serves as the foundation for my understanding of language and the world around me. Here's what the training process generally entails. 1. Data collection. Researchers gather large quantities of text data from diverse sources such as books, articles, websites, social media posts, and more. This data covers a wide range of topics, writing styles, and domains to provide me with a broad understanding of language. 2. Pre-processing. Before training begins, the text data is typically pre-processed to clean and standardize it. This may involve tasks such as removing special characters, normalizing punctuation, tokenizing sentences and words, and handling other linguistic quirks. 3. Model training. The pre-processed text data is then used to train the AI model, such as a neural network architecture like the Generative Pre-trained Transformer, GPT. During training, the model learns to predict the next word or sequence of words in a given context based on the patterns and relationships present in the text data. 4. Fine-tuning. After the initial training phase, the model may undergo further fine-tuning on specific tasks or domains to improve its performance. This involves exposing the model to additional labeled data related to the task at hand and adjusting its parameters accordingly. 5. Evaluation. Throughout the training process, the model's performance is evaluated on various benchmarks and validation datasets to assess its accuracy, coherence, and other metrics. This helps researchers identify areas for improvement and refine the training process. By training on vast amounts of text data, I develop a statistical understanding of language patterns, syntax, semantics, and contextual relationships. This enables me to generate responses that are coherent, relevant, and contextually appropriate based on the input I receive.
Okay. So I talked about, I'm commenting on how realistic the voice sounds and just kind of getting some feedback on that. So your voice sounds pretty human like. How was the OpenAI team able to do that? Let's see what the response is. There she goes with them detailed answers again. All right, so here's her response.
Thank you for the compliment. My voice is a result of the natural language generation capabilities of the language model I'm based on, as well as the efforts of the OpenAI team to develop and fine-tune these capabilities. Here are some key factors that contribute to my human-like voice. 1. Natural language processing, NLP, techniques. The OpenAI team employs advanced NLP techniques to train me on vast amounts of text data, allowing me to understand and generate human-like responses. These techniques include deep learning architectures like transformers, which excel at processing and generating natural language. 2. Language modeling. I'm trained using a technique called language modeling, which involves predicting the next word or sequence of words in a given context based on the patterns and relationships learned from the training data. This enables me to generate responses that are coherent and contextually appropriate. Fine-tuning. The OpenAI team fine-tunes the language model on various tasks and domains to improve its performance and adapt it to specific use cases. This fine-tuning process helps ensure that my responses are relevant and accurate in different contexts. For voice synthesis. While I don't have an actual voice in the traditional sense, my responses are typically presented as text. However, advancements in text-to-speech (TTS) technology allow my responses to be converted into spoken audio with increasingly natural-sounding voices. This helps enhance the overall user experience and makes interactions with me more engaging. Overall, the combination of advanced NLP techniques, extensive training data, and fine-tuning processes enables me to generate responses that sound remarkably human-like. However, it's important to remember that I'm still an AI language model and not a human. So my responses are generated based on patterns in the data rather than genuine understanding or consciousness.
Mm-hmm. All right. A lot of folks can get bored listening to this. I'm just kind of getting my my a little bit of my nerd on, I guess you could say. And like I said, I'm just doing it for you guys so you can see what it is. Now, here we're gonna have a little bit of fun. I'm gonna ask it to set me up a content calendar for a podcast channel. Let me see. Hold on. So what I wrote, I said, okay, I need you to create a content calendar for a podcast show that I broadcast once a week. I'm gonna put on YouTube just to see. Let me see on YouTube. I need two columns. I spelled the word two wrong. I need two columns. I need two columns. The first column shows the word week, and the other column shows the content. I'm gonna put the content information. Information. I speak about current events that are going on around the world. So let's see what it generates for me. Let's see how it can help me out with some content so I can do some content on a YouTube channel. Let's see what happens. Let's see if it does what I asked. Oh, it sure did. Wow. All right. I'm going to let y'all, here we go. Let me scroll down. Check this out. Wow. So it did make a column. Okay. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and play it real quick. So this is an example of what you can do if you want to start to get into podcasting. You may not have any ideas. You can ask it questions, just like, or you can give it commands or ask it to do just like I put here. It doesn't have to be as long, but you can make it long or short. But what I've learned before I play it, what I've learned about this is that you need to be, I think, kind of specific. Otherwise, it'll just give its best version, maybe might be the way to say it, is best version of being specific. And you might find that it's not what you wanted. So with certain things, you want to try to be as detailed on specific things, and you can be general about other stuff. So it did give me two columns. It gave me one with the week on it, and then the other column had the content information. So let's check this out.
Sure. Here's a sample content calendar for your podcast show. Week, content information. 1. Introduction to the podcast and overview of format. 2. Recap of major global news events from the past week. 3. In-depth analysis of a current global issue. 4. Guest interview with an expert or commentator. 5. Spotlight on a specific country or region. Listener Q&A session and discussion. 7. Special topic episode, e.g., climate change, technology trends. 8. Recap of major global news events from the past month. 9. Discussion on emerging trends or developments. 10. Review of notable cultural events or phenomena. Feel free to adjust the topics or schedule based on your preferences and the availability of current events. This calendar provides a mix of regular segments, guest interviews, and special topics to keep your content engaging and varied.
All right, so there you go. And incidentally, I have used this, but I haven't had it make me a chart or columns like this. I just asked straight out, hey, I have this type of channel. Can you give me some content ideas? And it just broke down. And I'll ask it maybe like, give me 15 content ideas about, let's say, for example, I have a self-defense channel. So I'll say, well, can you give me 15 ideas for a self-defense YouTube channel for me to make 15 video ideas for a self-defense YouTube channel. And it was giving me those, that was kind of examples, something similar to that is what I wrote. And it gave me the 15 ideas. Now, I didn't have to do all that. And just like she said at the end, take what you see and you could tweak it to make it your own. And then you can go like that. So for all you guys who still, because there's still a lot of people that say, well, I don't know what I should do or how to get started or what I should talk about, get this for free. As far as I know, it's 100% free. Go to chatgpt.com. The other, like I said, I have 3 apps. One of them is this app, but I'm doing this on the laptop, so you can actually do it on the laptop And later I can go on my app and see everything you guys are seeing now. I can go on the app and see what I put down. So it's free. I just found that out by accident that it's free. Now, if you want to update or upgrade, you see how it says on the top there, it says Chat GPT 3.5 on the screen, on like kind of your top leftish. If you want to get an upgrade to Chat GPT, I think it's 4.0, then you got to pay. But they're giving you the Chat GPT 3.5 for free. So go to openai.com or chatgpt.com, and you can go in there. It'll ask you right away, like, what do you want to know or whatever. And for those who want to start podcasts and you don't have any ideas you can come up with, ask it something similar. Say, hey, I'm starting to you can have it like you type it out the text like you having a conversation. I want to get started with a podcast show. I want to talk about X, Y, and Z. Can you give me Can you create me a content calendar? And similar to what I just put, first column, I want to do it once a week, kind of be detailed, like I said. I want to do this podcast show on YouTube. I don't have any ideas. I want to do it once a week, kind of put those details in there, once a week or whatever. You want to do it 5 days a week, put that in there. And then say, can you create me a content calendar? With the first calendar being the week or the day, however you want to do it, or the month. You might do it once a month. And the other calendar with the actual content information. Can you create me a content calendar for 90 days or for 3 months or just for a month? And it'll do what you just see on the screen. It'll put that information on there, and you can go through it and see what ideas you like. And what I've noticed with me, because I like to come up with my own ideas, but I do use it to kind of put out some information, and then I kind of go through it. And me reading what they're saying, their ideas actually has me, it sparks me to come up with some more ideas on my own. Or sometimes I'll combine certain things that are put on there. I combine, oh, I could take that idea that the chat GPT gave me and combine it with this, like week number 1 with week number 10. So there's so many different ways you can come up with ideas, and you can come up with a whole year's calendar of podcast episodes and just do them how you want to do them. So it's a very good tool. I say, like, I put it like that. It's a very good tool to use to help you out with a whole host of things. I'm gonna ask it about reparations real quick. Let's do that before I get out of here. Then after that, I'm gonna get out of here. All right. So I'm gonna ask you the question about reparations. And incidentally, you can go over here and start a new chat each time. And what it does, everything you've asked it, it'll put it into like a title. If you guys can see on the left, it'll put it into like a title category. And you can always, it keeps a record, so you can always go back and click on whichever one. You might say, well, man, I talked about, I want to know about Ted Corbett, who is a Black American marathon runner, and I have it up here. I asked it about that, so I can actually click back on that. See, and then it brings me back to what I asked about that. All right, so it keeps a record of everything you asked. I don't know if you be able. I think you might be able to delete it. Let me see. Yeah, so you can actually click on these dots and delete whichever ones you don't even want on there anymore. But it keeps a record of the question you asked and all its responses it gave you. So if you just want to go back, because you might be thinking, oh, I remember I asked it about such and such. Well, let me go back real quick, and then you can just go down the list, and it just breaks it down in the previous 30 days. It breaks it down in a month. I asked it questions in April, March, and so you can just kind of go back. So let's get back to this. Matter of fact, let's start a new one real quick. And so I say it's a good tool to help you out with a whole host of different things. You just ask it all types of questions. All right, you can ask it the craziest questions you want. But let me find out. Let me ask. What's a good question about reparations? I'm just gonna put this. Do you think I'm gonna put that foundational Black Americans will get reparations? Let's see what happens. Do you think that foundational Black Americans will get reparations? Let's click on her answer and see what she says, and I'll play the audio of her response. All right. Here we go. Here's the response.
The question of reparations for foundational Black Americans, descendants of enslaved Africans in the United States, is a complex and contentious issue that intersects with history, politics, and social justice. While there's ongoing advocacy for reparations, whether they will be implemented and what form they might take remains uncertain. Reparations can take various forms, including financial compensation, educational initiatives, community development programs, and more. Some argue that reparations are necessary to address the enduring impacts of slavery, segregation, and systemic racism on Black communities in the United States. Others may oppose reparations for a variety of reasons, such as concerns about the practicality of implementation, questions of who should be eligible, and whether it could exacerbate social divisions. The topic has gained increased attention in recent years,
Facts.
with various proposals and discussions at both the grassroots and legislative levels.
Facts.
However, the path to actual reparations involves navigating significant political, legal, and social challenges. Ultimately, whether foundational Black Americans receive reparations will depend on numerous factors, including shifting societal attitudes, political will, and the ability to address the complexities involved in such a monumental undertaking.
Very interesting. I'm gonna ask you one more question here, real quick, and then I'm gonna bounce. So even ChatGPT is up on reparations. Now, some of the responses she's saying, you know, it kind of give you some guidelines and some things that you could probably work with. And so, what I would follow up with this is maybe say, hey, what are some strategies that we can or that I can use to get the reparations conversation or the word out there further. I won't ask it that. I'm asking something else, but that can be something further, and that can also help you. You might like some of the responses, or it might spark you to have some better ideas yourself. All right. So let me see. What's another question I can ask real quick, and then I'm gonna get out of here. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. I don't know if I should ask it a serious one or a funny one or what. What's a good question? Let me see in regards to the reparations. Okay, let me see. In regards to reparations, mm, let's ask you something strategic. How can I get the word out more about it? And then I'm gonna say, give me 7 ways to get the word out about reparations. All right. Let's see what she says here. Now she'll give you your what you ask her. It may or may not be what you're looking for, or you might not like the responses. But like I said before, it might also spark you. It might spark an idea or a thought or a totally different idea altogether just by listening or reading what she says. So let's listen to what she says about that.
Certainly, here are 7 ways to raise awareness and get the word out about reparations. 1. Social media campaigns. Utilize platforms like Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook to share information, articles, graphics, and personal stories related to reparations. Use hashtags such as reparations now, reparations for Black Americans, or justice for descendants to reach a wider audience and spark conversations. 2. Organize events, host town hall meetings, panel discussions, or community forums dedicated to discussing reparations. Invite experts, activists, and community leaders to share insights, educate attendees, and facilitate dialogue. 3. Educational outreach. Partner with schools, universities, and educational institutions to incorporate discussions about reparations into curricula. Offer workshops, lectures, and seminars to raise awareness among students, educators, and the broader community. 4. Media engagement. write op-eds, articles, or letters to the editor for local newspapers, online publications, or community newsletters. Pitch stories about reparations to journalists, bloggers, and podcasters to increase media coverage and public understanding. 5. Petition and advocacy. Start or sign petitions advocating for reparations at the local, state, or federal level. Organize letter writing campaigns, phone banks, or lobbying efforts to urge elected officials and policymakers to support reparations legislation or initiatives. 6. Artistic expression. Use art, music, theater, poetry, and other creative mediums to convey the significance of reparations and amplify marginalized voices. Collaborate with artists, performers, and cultural institutions to create exhibits, performances, or installations that explore the historical and contemporary impact of slavery and systemic racism. 7. Community outreach. Engage with local grassroots organizations, faith communities, and social justice groups to mobilize support for reparations. Participate in rallies, marches, and community service projects that center on reparations and racial equity. Foster partnerships with diverse stakeholders to build a broad-based coalition for reparative justice. By combining these strategies and leveraging diverse platforms and networks, you can effectively raise awareness, build momentum, and advocate for reparations within your community and beyond.
Very, very interesting. Some of these things, some people might not like that she gave those responses, because there's a lot of people who don't want the reparations to happen, and especially to get the word out there. Although we've been getting the word out there anyway, so that's going to be real hard, because she even mentioned earlier that it's been getting more popular, in my own words, using my own words there. It's getting more known than it was in the past. So we already doing that, as Black Americans have already been getting the word out there. All right. I'm just plugging it up, so I don't want the laptop to die. Here we go. And so I'm gonna ask this last question here. And it's just, like I said, it's just an idea, just something that you guys can see, that you can ask it a whole bunch of things. You can ask about books. You can ask it to, for instance, I'll give you another idea before we go into this last question. You can um, take a video that you had, and StreamYard allows you to get the text of your video, and you can take the text, you can plug in the text there and ask it to give you 5 paragraphs of the most important points of my text, and it'll shoot out 5 paragraphs, and then you can copy that and put that as an article. So now, not only will you have a video of whatever you have, now you can have it, you have a website with an article, you can make an article out of that same text. So there's so much stuff you can do, man. So let's get this last one real quick. Should I let's do it real fast. All right. How can we get our family members more familiar with the plight of descendants of American slaves? It's going into a whole detail. I'm not gonna go through all of this, but let's just listen in what she says.
Increasing awareness and understanding of the plight of descendants of American slaves among family members can be a gradual process that involves empathy, education, and open dialogue. Here are some suggestions to help. 1. Start conversations. Initiate conversations about the history of slavery in the United States and its lasting impacts on Black communities. Encourage open and respectful discussions where family members can share their thoughts, questions, and feelings. 2. Share personal stories. Share personal stories or anecdotes that illustrate the experiences of descendants of American slaves within your own family or community. This can help humanize the issue and foster empathy among family members. 3. Provide educational resources. Offer books, documentaries, articles, or online resources that explore the history of slavery, segregation, and systemic racism in the United States. Choose materials.
All right, I'm gonna leave it right there, as giving you talk, just give you an idea of what it can do. You guys might want to consider getting the Chat GPT app, and let it help you out in your personal life, maybe your professional life. And yeah, so again, like I said, it's a tool that you can use to help you with a whole host of things. I've known people to kind of shy away from that and get scared. So I figured I'd just bring that up so you can see how it works. You get to hear what Chat GPT is, the AI and all that. So she went into detail about that. Then you seen the things you can do with it, how it can help you out. So again, it's just another tool that you can use for a vast amount of different things. You can ask it questions about certain information, and it just depends on how much what it said it was trained by the data it was getting, text data, whoever this team of OpenAI people, engineers and researchers. So I guess it's this research team and these engineers, and the researchers send the engineers all this information, and the engineers put it all in there and do a whole bunch of other stuff, and it's able to kind of respond back and forth with you and give you a lot of detailed information. So yeah, there you have it. With that being said, I appreciate y'all, man. Be sure to subscribe to the New Black American Media. Subscribe to this channel. Um, I'll be putting the rebroadcast here on these two Facebook channels Facebook pages, since something happened with that. I couldn't broadcast live with it, but we'll get it on there. And yeah, consider it. You can go to chatgpt.com. It's free. It's what I'm showing you now on the screen. It's either that or openai.com, or both of those. You can choose either one and get you an account. It's free. They only charge you if you want to go to ChatGPT 4.0, a little bit higher level from the ChatGPT 3.5, which is what you see on the screen. What you see on the screen, that's free to use. And whatever you do on the laptop, which I'm doing now, I can be able to go on the app and see everything I did with y'all today on the app. So you can kind of go back and forth with it. So hopefully that's kind of educated you a little bit more what Chat GPT is about, what you can, the possibilities, the things you can do with it, how it can help you out in your life. All right. And so yeah, I got to bounce up out of here. Be sure to check us out on all these platforms. We are available on all these bad boys, and probably some more coming up pretty soon. All right. And with that being said, you know what it is. You rocking with the best, baby. Thoughts of the Week podcast. I'm gone. Peace.